Federation. He weighs in at 210 pounds and hails from Venice Beach. He's a contender for the light heavyweight championship belt and is known worldwide as the teen heartthrob. It's Chaz.
From the Global Wrestling Federation. This is Doyle King down ringside with Elvis, and play along with me on this, will you, Terry? Terry Sims is down ringside too. Let's ring the bell. Terry, it's wonderful to have you back with us here. It's been a couple of weeks since we've seen you, and what was the deal with Gary Hart? I know they carried you out of here on a stretcher.
Well, basically, I really don't know what the deal with Gary Hart is, Doyle. I know that I was wrestling a match. I know that I don't quit, and I know I had no fuel. I work out, I train in the gym. Something was slipped in my drink, apparently. The hospital told me it was poison. Poison, and they also told me that it was a lethal dose of poison. I could have died from it, though.
Poison, that's like a drug. You know, drugs. I'm a special deputized DEA agent by President Nixon himself, baby. Do you know that? I'm
David,
a special
what's the matter with you, man?
What?
What?
My name's Elvis, baby.
Elvis
No.
I saw Elvis in Cancun the last time I was...
Terry, Dr. Dietrich said to play along with him and play like he's Elvis. It's okay. It's bad for him. Yeah, that hit on the head that he took at the hands of Fernandez.
Hey, I've talked to that Dr. Dietrich a couple of times.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you see that? Did you see what Chaz is doing inside the ring? You know, this kid's come a long way, Doyle King. I don't know about that. It's kind of a nose hold. I've not seen one of those.
Chaz. They call him the toe. Look at this. From behind, one, and almost two right there on Dapper Dan.
Chaz is another example of one of the great talents in the Global Wrestling Federation. As I was speaking before, what I was telling you, Doyle, was the fact that I was taken to the hospital.
Right, we all saw you carried out of here on a stretcher. It looked like when you were in the match that, like you said, you ran out of fuel. It looked like you didn't even know where you were, like you had no strength. It was all sapped out of you.
Well, I actually don't really remember what happened. I just remember, oh, what a kick. What a kick by Chaz, a savate kick. I remember wrestling Rugged Rod Price. Now, let's go back. Let's have a little history here. When Gary Hart came back into the Global Wrestling Federation, he asked me on several different occasions if I would like to wrestle as a part of his stable. At first, I tried to befriend Gary.
Well, yes.
After.
Well, it seemed that Mr. Hart had a change of heart when he came back into the GWF.
He did have a change of heart. He started wrestling. He started managing wrestlers like Rod Price, John Tatum.
Right.
I really don't want to be involved in that, okay? Chaz is down right now, but I'll tell you what, I have faith that this kid's going to pull it together. He's going to have these fans behind him. Listen to him. He's definitely one of the crowd favorites in the Global Wrestling Federation, and I don't think this guy that's wrestling him knows what he's got a hold of.
Dapper Dan missed with that boot. He was gonna come on in there on Chaz and ended up on the ropes instead. Now Chaz climbs to the top, and Chaz flying off that top rope with a big clothesline. And here's
that
the hook.
Clothesline will win it. Oh!
And two, not quite enough for three, but Chaz back to the outside once more up on that top rope. Referee counts. There's high crossbody, hooks the leg. There's one, and two, still not quite enough for three.
You know, Doyle King, you and Terry Sims been talking about Gary Hart down here and that type of poison that he got in your drink and everything. I can guarantee you, all the fine fans, since I am a special agent of the DEA, that I will be enforcing every single one of them laws to the T, brother.
Well, now, Scott Putski came down here, Terry, and said that he saw Gary Hart set a Coke down, and that it was Gary Hart had something to do with this poisoning. That's what Putski said.
I really don't want to think that, Doyle King, okay? I can't prove that.
Right.
But all the circumstances point towards that.
Right.
Scott Putski's a friend of mine. I've known Scott for a long time. He's looking out for my better interest. He said that it was either Sebastian or Hart. He wasn't sure which. They were both mulling around. Hart, that particular night, was in the dressing room asking me again to wrestle with him. As a matter of fact, the week before, if we go back and I think about it, I really had a similar situation, not quite as extreme, in the title match with Porto.
Right.
I started feeling woozy. Hart and I again that night had another conversation. I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, certainly we are happy to have you back here, and you're going to be okay, right?
Well, right now I'm still under the doctor's care. I am not been released to wrestle as of this week. If I was, I would be in here.
Right. Well, I know you don't want to miss you hate to miss the opportunity of Global Gold Friday.
Exactly.
You know, another chance to go for that title.
The one thing, you know, I never have received a shot, a rematch for my light heavyweight title.
Right.
The one thing I'm thinking about now is I am in the gym every day. I have a business, you know, I'm a businessman locally here, and I'm in the gym every day. I am training. The North American heavyweight title's definitely not out of my limits. I am eyeing that.
Okay, fans, we've got to take a break. We'll be right back after this. We're back with more from the Global Wrestling Federation. Terry Sims, Doyle King, and Elvis down ringside. Inside the ring, Chaz with a rolling neck breaker on Dapper Dan. Once again, gets almost a 2 count. He has had this Dapper Dan in more pinning predicaments here in the last few minutes, Terry, than I've seen in a lot of matches that roll an hour.
The thing that is impressing me more and more about Chaz is that he's learning each week. His cardiovascular conditioning seems to be getting better. To be a champion and to maintain a championship belt on a weekly basis and come out here and defend every week, you have to have that cardiovascular. Oh, what a kick!
Yes, 1 and 2, and not quite enough for 3. I don't see how Dan was able to get that foot over the bottom rope.
He showed a little bit of spunk on his own, but as I was saying, you have to be able to come out here and you have to be able to wrestle 30-minute matches. What do you think about that, Elvis?
I think you're right, baby. You know, you got to be in top physical condition to keep going and going and going and reach down deep inside when you get in that ring.
Are you, do you still live in Memphis, Tennessee?
Live in Memphis, woo, baby, Memphis, Tennessee, right on top of that hill, Elvis Presley Boulevard.
Everybody knows the King's from Memphis. Oh,
Side
boy,
headlock.
I don't know, Doyle.
Chaz on Dapper Dan. Oh, here he comes around from behind.
That's a chastizer. It's over. It has to be over.
Right there, Chaz asking the fans if they want to watch. Oh, look at this. What a beautiful pinning predicament. 1, 2, and there's 3.
There's no way to get out of that, Doyle. Not after that chastizer. He tied him up, and it was great.
Your winner, Team Heartthrob, Chaz.
Chaz wins that match against Dapper Dan. Terry Sims